the words that best fill in the blanks in the given sentence. I will complete the sentence by filling the gap, and the correct usage should be: an expert committee has been appointed to supervise or to oversee. Oversee will mean supervise the transformation of the district into an international finance center. The words that have to fill is appointed and oversee. Oversee will mean to supervise, and the complete sentence will appear like: an expert committee has been appointed to oversee the transformation of the district into an international finance center. Option is B, as oversee means to supervise. Answer is B. Select the pair of word which has the same relationship as the two word trial, jury. Jury is a group of person which conducts a trial, and similarly the answer happens to be among option number A. Among the option, the best option is option number A. Arbiter is a person who settles the dispute. So jury conducts the trial, and arbiter is a person who has the power to settle some dispute. So the correct option is jury, trial and arbiter, dispute, which is option. We have to make the question grammatically correct. The crime has growth rapidly. This is grammatically incorrect. It have to be replaced by option number B. The crime has grown rapidly, and the correct sentence after correction will be made from option number B. B happens to be the correct usage. Growth have to be replaced by grown, and the correct usage will be: the crime has grown rapidly in Russia since the disintegration of the communist system. Option B is the answer. If two typists can type 2 pages in 2 minutes, two typists can do 2 pages in 2 minutes, right? Two typists 2 pages in 2 minutes. Two typists together can do 2 pages in 2 minutes. So we can surely say one typist can do 1 page in 2 minutes, right? We are keeping time same, so if the number of typists is half, the number of pages will also become half, keeping the time same. I am keeping it in 2 minutes. So now the question is saying how many typists will it take to type 18 pages in 6 minutes. So we already have the data. One typist can type 1 page in 2 minutes. So what is work done by a typist in 1 minute? One typist 1 page in 2 minutes. So I can surely say work done by a typist. Work done by one typist. One typist will be equal to half a page per minute. So he is doing half a page per minute. 1 page in 2 minutes. So he is doing half a page in 1 minute. So work done is half a page for 1 minute. Now he had to do 18 pages. So in order to do 18 pages, he is doing half a page in 1 minute. So he had to do 18 pages. Let the number of typists be equal to X, and they have been assigned 6 minutes. So and the work done have to be 18 pages. This work done should be equal to 18 pages. So we have work done by one typist in 1 minute is half a page. Let X be the number of typists. Time allowed it 6 minutes, because this is per minute, half a page per minute into 6 minutes. So the total work done should be equal to 18. We have X is equal to 6. So we have here X is equal to 6. The answer is number of typists required will be equal to 6, which is option number C. A fairly simple question. We can say 2 typists 2 pages in 2 minutes. Keeping time same, we can say 1 typist 1 page in 2 minutes. right? One typist 1 page in 2 minutes means work done by one typist is half a page in 1 minute, half a page in 1 minute. So half a page in 1 minute into number of minutes are 6 and let the number of typist is x. One typist half a page in 1 minute, work done by one typist, work done by x typist, work done by x typist in 6 minutes should be equal to 18 pages. So we have x is equal to 6. Option number C. In a sequence of consecutive integer of increasing value has a sum 63 and the first term is 6. How many integers are there in the sequence? We know it is consecutive integers. The consecutive integers will form a arithmetic progression with common difference 1. The consecutive integer will always have a common difference 1, and we are saying sum is 63. So sum is equal to 63. Sum for any general arithmetic progression will be given by n by 2. We have twice of a plus n minus 1 into d. Let me explain it. Sn denotes the sum up till n terms. N is the number of terms, a is the first term, n is the number of terms, and d is the common difference for that arithmetic progression. Now what we can see, sum is equal to 63. We have here n by 2, twice of first term. In the question he is saying first term is 6, so we have been already given the first term, so it is a fairly simple question based upon direct formula. So here we have d is 1. Common difference for an arithmetic progression will come out to be 1. So we have 126 should be equal to n into n minus 1 plus 12, that is n plus 11. Now one thing we can say here, we know n plus 11 into n is equal to 126. So we know 18 into 7 is equal to 126. We can directly observe and we can say n is 7, n plus 1 will be 18, that should be equal to 126. This other way around, we can say here n is square plus 11n minus 126 should be equal to 0. If you want to go for quadratic equation, here is the way, n is square plus we have here say 18n minus 7n, sum of the roots should be equal to minus 11 and the product of the root should be equal to minus 126, which is coming in this way. This should be equal to, so we have here n, and in fact I will write it. What we are going to get here is n minus 7 and n minus 18 should be equal, sorry, n plus 18 should be equal to 0. Why? Sum of the root is equal to minus b upon a, which should be equal to minus 11. One root is 7 and another root is minus 18. So number of terms cannot be negative, so number of terms is 7. N is equal to, or whenever we are in between such a this quadratic equation, one thing we should keep in mind, just see that what values can satisfy it. N into 11 should be equal to 126. By hidden trial we can say n is equal to 7, 18 into 7 is equal to 126, or other way around, here is a solution, n is equal to 7. So the answer is n equal to 7. In how many ways can a person post 5 letters in 4 letter boxes? One thing which we need to keep in mind here, letter have to go into boxes. Letter have to be posted into letter boxes. So there are 5 letters. So first letter will have, obviously first letter can get into any of the letter boxes. Suppose the boxes are B1, B2, B3 and B4. There are 5 letters and 4 letter boxes, or I can say 4 boxes. Forget about letter boxes, there are 4 boxes. Keep in mind that letter have to go into letter boxes. So this is fairly important that first letter will have 4 possibilities. It can go in box number 1, box number 2, it can go in box number 3, or it can go in box number 4. So first letter will have, first letter, say letter 1, will have possibility to get into any of these 4 letter boxes. It can be posted in 4 ways. Similarly, letter number 2 is again going to have all of these 4 choices. It can be again posted in 4 ways, and similarly each and every letter can be posted in box number 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. Any of the letters can be done in 4 ways. So there are, first letter can be done in 4 ways, second in 4 ways, third in 4 ways, fourth in 4 ways, and the last one can be also done in 4 ways. So the answer is 4 power 5, which is equal to 2 power 10, which is equal to 1024. So the correct answer is 1024 or 2 power 10 or 4 raised to the power 5, whatever is present among the option. The option says 4 power 5. So the correct answer is 4 power 5, which is equal to 1024. For solving this question, this is a elementary simple question based upon fundamental principle of counting. We have to keep in mind that letter have to go into letter boxes. So first letter will have, and it is not vice versa, right? Boxes does not have to be fit into letter. So first letter will have 4 choices, second letter, and each of the letter can be posted in 4 ways. When each of them can be done in 4 ways, there are 5 letter. 4 power 5 is the answer. Hence the answer is 1024 or 4 power 5 or 2 power 10. Answer is 4 power 5. Chandan and Sonal purchase a laptop at the same price. That means they both have common cost price. They have same cost price. Both of them mark up the price of the laptop by the same amount. Sonal sold her laptop by offering successive discounts of rupees $200 and 20% in that order. That means Sonal sold her laptop by offering successive discounts of, first she offered 200 discount dollar and then 20% prop. And Chandan does the same thing in the reverse order. He offered 20% first and then $200 later on. This is what the question is saying. Now if the profit made by the Sonal was equal to the loss incurred by Chandan, then what was the amount of the profit made by the Sonal? Now it's a very tricky yet a very simple question, and how we can arrive at it. Once again, let us try to understand. What I mean to say here is their CP and markup is same, but their selling price are getting different because Sonal is initially offering a discount of $200, then 20%, and Chandan is offering 20% discount first and then $200. Now be really very careful about the difference in these two are being created. 200 first discount and then 20% later on, 20% first discount and then 200 later on. The difference is happening because on 200, in both the cases the difference is happening. In one of the case 20% on 200 is not taken into account, right? The only difference is 20% of 200. That is the only difference. The difference in these two values is going to be 20% of 200, which is equal to $40. So the difference between selling price after operating successive discounts of 1 and 2 successive discounts of 1 and 2 in that order, the difference is coming out to be $40. Now he is saying if the profit made by the Sonal is equal to loss incurred by the Chandan, then this is the difference which is happening, and the profit and loss, the values of the profit and loss are same. So these two values, their selling price are getting deferred. The selling price difference of Sonal and Chandan, selling price difference of Sonal and Chandan, the difference of these two values is coming out to be $40, which is happening because of discount is not offered on 200 in one case, right? Only difference is that, else everything is same. So that means the difference in selling price is 40 rupees. One is making a profit, another is making the loss of the same magnitude. That means one is making a profit of 20, another is making a loss of 20. That is why their difference will come out to be 40. So one is making a profit of, who is making a profit? Obviously the profit made by Sonal. Sonal is making a profit of $20 and Chandan is making a loss of $20. Now see, this is how it can be easily understood. Once again I am going to tell you that the difference is happening only because of, difference is happening only because of, in one case the discount on 200 is offered, in another case the discount on 200 is not offered. 20% discount is offered on 200, in another case not. So the difference is only 20% of 200 for $40 is the difference between their selling price. One is making a profit, another is making a loss. So the selling prices are getting deferred by $40. If the selling price are getting difference by 40, one is making a profit and another is making the loss of, with the magnitude is same. So 20 is the profit and 20 is the loss. Sonal is making a profit of 20 and Chandan is making a loss of 20, because 40 have to be equally divided. That is the difference. One is making profit, another is making loss. So $20 is the profit of the Sonal, and which is the same loss of Chandan is also $20. This is easy way. You see, whatever is the CP or whatever is the mark price, because CP is same, markup is same, whatever discounts are offered, difference is 20% on 200. If you want to have a complete explanation of it, which will be never required, this is short and the easy way of solving the question. The complete reference will come out to be, let their mark price be equal to X. So if the mark price is equal to X, in case of let their mark price is equal to X. So in case of Sonal, first selling price of Sonal will be equal to mark price X is getting minus by 200. First discount is for 200, then 20% discount is being offered. This is selling price of Sonal. If I take selling price of Chandan, first discount of 20% is offered and then subsequently $200 is offered. I hope the point is made. Because the mark price is same, let the mark price be equal to X. Now Sonal is offering a discount of 200 first, then 20% is the second discount. Successive means one after another. Successive means one after another. And in the second case, Chandan, X, and then the first discount is offered on 20%, then 200 discount is offered. Now if I want to calculate the profit, their profit, both of them mark up their profit will come out to be, you subtract it from X, the profit will be equal to X minus this value, X minus 200 into 0.8. Chandan, this is profit of Sonal, loss of Chandan will be equal to X into 0.8 minus 200 minus X. And we know these two values are equal, profit of Sonal is equal to loss of Chandan. If we put these two values equal, because in the question it is already given profit of Sonal is equal to loss of Chandan. If we put these two values equal, then we'll get x is equal to 900. So we can obviously verify that 900, if we offer first 200 rupees discount and then we offer 20%, that is 560 is the price for the first one, and in second case if we offer 900, we offer first 20% and then minus 200, that is 720 minus 200, that is equal to 520. We can see the value difference is coming out to be 40. So this is never required, because we can verify from here that x is coming out to be 900. So if 900 is the mark price, first discount is 200 and then 20%, 560 is the selling price, 900 is the mark price, first discount 20%, and then second discount 200, it is coming out to be 520, difference is coming out to be $40. Now that means their selling price are getting deferred by $40. One is making profit, another is making loss. So that means 20, one is making a profit of $20, another is making a loss of $20. That is why their selling price is getting deferred by $40. One is making a profit of $20, another is making a loss of $20. No need of solving this equation, because here what we are seeing, on 900 20% is offered, on 900 20% is offered, which is same in both the cases. So I'm going to cancel it out. 900 20% is offered discount, 900 20% is offered, which is same in both the cases. What is the difference? On 200, in this case on 200 as well 20% is offered, and in this case nothing is offered on 200. The difference is discount offered on 200, 20%, which is equal to 20% of 200 will be equal to $40 is the difference, which is one is making a profit of $20, another is making a loss of $20. That is why SP1, SP2 are getting deferred by 40. The overall difference is coming out to be 40. One is making a profit of 20, another is making a loss of 20. That is why their selling price is getting deferred by 40, which is never required. We can see here the only difference is coming out to be 20% of 200, that is 40 is the difference between their selling price. So here as well 40 is the difference between the selling price. On solving, x will come out to be 900, which is never required. Overall question is 20% is the difference on 200 that is being created in these two things. 900 20% is offered in both the cases, but here 200 20% is offered, here 200 no discount is offered. 20% discount on 200, selling price are getting deferred by 40. The question could have been directly done. All this explanation is not required. If a regular hexagon is inscribed in a circle as shown with radius 4, the circle has a radius 4 unit. So if the circle has a radius 4 unit, we can see, because it's a regular hexagon, so one thing we have to be sure about that, n minus 2 into 180 degree is interior angle sum for any general polygon. So in case of hexagon, the interior angle sum will come out to be, we have to put here n equal to 6. 6 minus 2, 4 into 180, that is equal to 720 is the interior angle sum for any general polygon, which is given by n minus 2 into 180 degree. We can see for a triangle, interior angle sum will be equal to 180, for a quadrilateral it will be 360, and we can keep on putting value of n and we can keep on getting the angle sum for any general orbit polygon. So interior angle sum for an hexagon will be equal to 720. This is the formula for interior angle sum. Now if it is a regular polygon, what will happen? In case of a regular polygon, each of the angle will be equal. So this angle sum 720 have to be equally divided among these 6 angles, all of these 6 angles. So each, I will say each interior angle will be equal to 720, or this have to be divided by n. The above value have to be divided by n. So which will be 720 upon 6, in our case it will come out to be 120. So we can say here this angle is equal to 120 and this angle will be also, in fact each and every angle will be equal to 120. Now if it is 120 and here, so each half of the angle will come out to be 60 and here it will be 60. So if the base angles are 60, it will be also equal to 60. What we are going to get is the regular hexagon, because it is a regular hexagon, and in fact in any general hexagon the sum is 720. In a regular hexagon, each of the interior angle, because it's a regular one, so each interior angle for a regular, it's a regular one, so each interior angle will come out to be 120 and half of that is 60. It will become an equilateral triangle, and if it's an equilateral triangle, what we can see inside the regular hexagon, there are 6 such exactly congruent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. I am writing with red color. These are exactly 6 congruent equilateral triangles, and we know that the radius of the circle is also acting as the side of the equilateral triangle. This side will be also equal to 4. So what we have, it is sum of 6 equilateral triangle. So area of the hexagon, the question is asking, area of hexagon will be given by 6 into root 3 by 4 into side square. Side is equal to 4, right? So because there are 6 equilateral triangle, we all know area of an equilateral triangle, we all know area of an equilateral triangle is root 3 by 4 a square. How it comes? So we have a and a. As soon as the perpendicular is dropped, the base will be bisected, height will be equal to root 3 by 2 of a. Area is half of base into height. So base is a and height is root 3 by 2 times of a, root 3 by 4a square. I hope the formula is already known, but I have already explained it. So there are 6 equilateral triangles out here. So 6 into root, that is equal to 4, this 4 and this 4 cancel out. So what we have, 24 root 3 is the complete area of the hexagon. So do I have options for it? The area is 24 root 3, which is option number D. Let's see here, each interior angle will be 120, which will be bisected here, so we will get equilateral triangle with side 4. Whatever is the radius of the circle will also become the side of the equilateral triangle, and there are 6 such congruent equilateral triangles. So complete area of the hexagon will be given by 6 into area of any one of them, because they are exactly congruent equilateral triangles. So the answer is 24 root 3. What we have here is solution X, which is 50% alcohol, is combined with solution Y, which is 30% alcohol. So what I have, solution X has 50% alcohol and solution Y has 30% alcohol. We have to mix them and we have to form a new solution, which in volume should be equal to 16 liter, having 35% alcohol. This mixture should have 35% alcohol. Let me make the question more clear, and it should be 16 liter. The mixture in volume should be 16 liter. Let me make everything absolutely clear. Now what we have, solution X contain 50% alcohol, solution Y contains 30% alcohol. Some content have to be taken out from X and some have to be taken out from Y, and we want to mix them and form a mixture having 35% of alcohol, but the volume in the container finally should be equal to 16 liter. We have a fairly simple formula, quantity cheaper, which we discuss very well in class as well. Quantity cheaper upon quantity dearer will be equal to price dearer minus mean price upon mean price minus price cheaper. A relatively very simple formula, and this formula is equally going to work for fractions, for percentage, and for absolute values. This is equally going to work for, had these values being in percentage, had these value being in fractions, it will equally work. Cheaper is the y, so how much quantity of y I have to take, and dearer means the higher one, how much quantity of x we have to take. Price dearer, which is equal to 50 minus mean price will come out to be 35. The mixture is regarded as the mean price, and mean price is 35 minus 30, that is equal to 15 by 5. So we can say quantity of y upon quantity of x is in the 3:1, right? We have got a fundamental ratio, that the ratio have to be 3:1, but given in the question this mixture should come out to be 16 liters. This mixture should come out to be 16 liters. So I can say that 3x have to be taken from here, and x have to be taken from here. The ratio is 3:1, or 3x and x. We have to take from y, we have to take 3x from here, and we have to take x from here. Total mixture will be equal to 4x. 4x is already given to me as 16. If total composition is 16, so x is equal to 4. But we don't need x. The question is asking how much have to be taken from y. 12 have to be taken from y, and 4 have to be taken from here. 12 have to be taken from y, and 4 have to be taken from x, so that the mixture will come out to be 16. That is what the question is asking. Overall mixture have to be 16. Hence the answer is, question is asking how much have to be taken from y. So 12 have to be taken from y, and 4 have to be taken from x. Our question is concerned only about y. Y is 12 liter of y and 4 liter of x. The speed of the boat increases by 2 km after every 1 hour. If the distance travelled in the first 1 hour was 35, what was the total distance travelled in 12 hours? So we can say that in first hour it is going 35, it get increased by 2, next hour it will go 37, and then 39. So the distance travelled in 12 hours. We know sum of an AP, this is an arithmetic progression, and we know sum of an arithmetic progression will be given by n by 2 twice of a plus n minus 1 of d. This is the sum of any general r-bit arithmetic progression, where Sn is the sum, n is number of terms, a is the first term, and d is the common difference. This is a relatively very simple formula based question in front of us, which can be done quite easily. We have to find out the sum of 12 terms. So our Sn will be equal to 12 by 2, n is 12. So we have here first term twice of first term, that is equal to twice of 35, plus we have n minus 1, n minus 1, n is equal to 12. So we have here 12 minus 1, I could have directly written here 11 into d is coming out to be 2. So what we have, 6 into 70 plus 22, that is 92. So the answer is 92 into 6, that should be equal to 552. Our answer is 552. It is a numerical data type question, so we need to write the answer 552. 92 into 6, 90 into 6 is 540, and 540 and 12, that is equal to 552 is the answer. So a relatively very simple question based upon formula for sum of an arithmetic progression. We need to remember that in general this formula can also be modified as n by 2. We have here first term as well as last term. This can be also, because this 2a can be written as a, and here it can be written as another a plus n minus 1 of d. This part will become first, and this part will become last. This is also one more way of looking at things, and here n by 2 was already
During the sensible heating of the moisture, sensible heating, it is a process of increasing the temperature at constant specific humidity. So this is a horizontal line moving away from the saturation curve, and we are interested in relative humidity. So phi 1, this is phi 2. So we can say that the relative humidity is going to be decreased. So answer is option A. So option A is the answer.
In this problem, 1 omega omega square are cube roots of unity. We have to find determinant value of A. 1 omega omega square omega square 1 omega square 1 omega. The determinant value of this matrix is 0 because 1 omega omega square are cube roots of unity. 1 plus omega square equal to 0. That's why I'm going to apply the operation C1 plus C2 plus C3 on the given matrix. I'm getting 1 omega omega square, omega plus omega square plus 1, omega square plus 1 plus omega, omega square 1, omega square 1 omega. 1 plus omega square is 0. That's why this value 0, this value 0, this value 0, omega square 1, omega square 1 omega. If every element of one column is 0, then the value of determinant is 0. Therefore, matrix is singular matrix. Right. In this problem, we have to solve the differential equation e power y plus 1 into cos x dx plus e power y sin x dy equal to 0. Here m is, it is m dx plus n dy form. M is e power y plus 1 into cos x, n is e power y sin x. Del m by del y cos x into differentiation of e power y plus 1 is e power y, del n by del x e power y into differentiation of sin x is cos x. Both are equal, that's why equation is exact. The solution is given by integral m dx plus terms in n free from x into dy equal to c. Integral e power y plus 1 into cos x dx plus, no term is free from x, equal to c. E power y plus 1 into integral cos x is sin x equal to c. In this problem, an integer is selected at random from first to 200 positive integers. The probability that it is divisible by either 6 or 8. 1 to 200 natural numbers is your sample space. Now, let us take A is the event that the selected number is divisible by 6. Let us take event B is the event that the selected number is divisible by 8. A intersection B is the event that the selected number is divisible by 6 and 8. If you select the number of favorable cases which are divisible by 6 are 33. Now, from 1 to 200, the favorable cases which are divisible by 8 are 25. If you take LCM of 6 and 8, 24. From 1 to 200, there are 8 numbers which are divisible by both 6 and 8. Now, we have to find out the selected number is divisible by either 8 or 6. A union B. P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. Number of favorable cases of A 33 out of 200, 25 out of 200 minus A intersection B 8 out of 200. 8 are favorable, divisible by both. Now 50 by 200, if you simplify this, you will get 0.25. In this problem, we have to find out maximum value of n for probability of getting no head in tossing a coin n times is greater than 0.1. Probability of getting head is 1 by 2, getting tail is also 1 by 2. Probability of not getting head is probability of x equal to 0, nc 0, p power 0, q power n minus 0. nc0 is 1, p power 0 is 1, 1 by 2 whole power n. Given that probability of not getting head in n times is greater than 0.1, therefore 1 by 2 whole power n is greater than 0.1. That means 1 by 2 power n greater than 1 by 10. Therefore 2 power n is less than 10. Therefore n value is 2 cube is 8. Therefore, n is 3.
So in this question, there is a plane wall of thickness 25 centimeter. On the left hand side of the plane wall, there is a heat flux that has been supplied is 900 watt per meter square, where the temperature of that surface where the heat flux is supplied is given by this temperature is given as 1127 degrees Celsius, and thermal conductivity of the slab material is 0.36 watt per meter Kelvin. Then, assuming a constant thermal conductivity, what is the temperature of the plane wall at the right surface? What is the temperature here? That is what is the question. Conductivity is given. Then the left hand side of the plane wall, plane slab, there is a supply of heat flux of amount 900 watt per meter square. Conductivity is 0.36, and the left hand side of the wall is maintained at 1127. So we need to calculate the temperature on the right face. For this, and there is no heat generation, and he has clearly mentioned Q dot is 0, and assuming a steady state heat transfer conditions, constant conductivity, and there is no heat generation here inside the slab, the governing generalized conduction equation will become d square T by dx square is equal to 0 for the given generation here inside the slab, the governing generalized conduction equation will become d square T by dx square is equal to 0 for the given situation. If you integrate both sides, you will get dt by dx is equal to C1, and T will become C1x plus C2. C1 and C2 are constants. Now, heat flux Q upon A is equal to, from Fourier law of equation, minus K dt by dx. Q by A at x is equal to 0. Where is x considered as 0? On the left hand side surface. X is equal to 0 on the left face, x is equal to 0.25 meter on the right side. So 900 a heat flux was given, K is 0.36, if you substitute these values here, dt by dx at x is equal to 0, that is C1, implies C1 is equal to minus 2500, because we know that at a dt by dx, on the left hand side surface, minus k into dt by dx, x is equal to 0, which is given as 900. Also at x is equal to 0, t is equal to C1 is minus 2500x plus 1127. If you put x is equal to 0, this will become 0. 1127 plus 273, that is 1400k. If you substitute this boundary condition there, you will get C2 as 1400k. Therefore, temperature as a function of x is minus, we got both the constants, minus 2500x plus 1400. Therefore, put x is equal to 0.25 meter to get the temperature on the right face, implies temperature at x is equal to 0.25 meters will be minus 2500 into 0.25 plus C2 is 1400. Answer will be 775 Kelvin.
R is the region bounded by x equal to 0, x equal to 2, y equal to x, y equal to x plus 2. X equal to 0. Next, y equal to x, x equal to 2. So this is our region. Fix vertical strip, you will get y limits. In this region, y varies from x to x plus 2, x varies from 0 to 2. Double integral x plus y dx dy. This can be written as double integral x plus y dy dx. Y varies from y equal to x to y equal to x plus 2, x equal to 0 to 2. Integral 0 to 2 xy y square by 2 x to x plus 2 dx. Integral 0 to 2 by simplifying this, we will get integral 0 to 2 4x plus 2 dx. After integrating this, 4 into x square by 2 plus 2x from 0 to 2. After simplifying this, we will get 12. The rate at which the body cools down is proportional to the difference between temperature of the body and the surrounding air. Now, rate of change in the temperature of the body is proportional to the difference between temperature of the body and its surrounding medium. Now, when time increases, temperature decreases. That's why I am going to write proportionality constant with negative sign. In the data is given that T0 is 26 degrees and temperature of the body cools down from 100 degrees centigrade to 63 degrees centigrade in 1 minute, and time t equal to 0. Temperature of the body is 100 degrees centigrade. After 1 minute, it becomes 63 degrees centigrade. At the end of 3 minutes, what will be the temperature of the body? Now, T0 is 26 degrees, therefore dt by t minus 26 equal to minus k dt. When time varies from 0 to 1, temperature varies from 100 degrees centigrade to 63 degrees centigrade. In 1 minute. By simplifying this, we will get one equation. Another equation, when time t varies from 0 to 3, temperature 100 to at what temperature? We have to find out. 1 by t minus 26 dt equal to 0 to 3. 0 to 3 minus k dt. Now, log t minus 26 from 100 to t equal to minus k t from 0 to 3. Here, log t minus 26 from 100 to 63 equal to minus kt from 0 to 1. By this, we got log 63 minus 26 equal to minus k. This is equation 1. Log t minus 26 minus log 100 minus 26 equal to minus 3k. Called it equation 2. From 1 and 2, we get T is 35.254 degrees centigrade.